The slim aluminum can that kicked it all off was not invented where most people assume. The signature formula that became the global benchmark traces back to a tonic originally made for truck drivers and laborers in Thailand, and records suggest an Austrian businessman tasted it, saw something in it, and developed a milder, more approachable version for European markets in the late 1980s. That reformulated version spread through extreme sports sponsorships and clever grassroots marketing until it reached over 170 countries within 2 decades. Here is the biology most people walk straight past. Taurine, one of the key ingredients listed on every can, is something the human body already produces naturally on its own, which means that most of the taurine in a can is essentially topping up what your cells are already making. Today, these slim cans sit in gas stations, airport lounges, hotel minibars, and gym vending machines worldwide, and they show up as the base of more cocktail orders than most bartenders care to admit. The wide-body can, bigger by design, not by necessity. Picture a wide-mouth can with a bold claw logo printed across it in black. The 16-ounce wide-body format was not designed because the formula needed more room. It was a packaging decision, a deliberate choice to make a higher price point feel like better value by simply doubling the serving size and printing the whole thing in matte black. Brands like Monster and Rockstar built this format in the early 2000s in the United States as a direct challenge to the slim can market leader, and heavy sponsorship of action sports events, gaming tournaments, and music festivals pushed the format through North America and Europe at remarkable speed. A single 16-ounce can carries roughly the same caffeine as 2 standard cups of coffee, which is easy to underestimate because the can opens and pours exactly like a soda. Today, there are hundreds of flavor varieties across dozens of brands, and the wide-mouth format sits among the top-selling beverage categories on the planet. Sugar-free, the same hit in a cleaner-looking package. The whiter, silver can might look lighter and cleaner on the shelf, but removing sugar does not touch the caffeine or the B vitamins in any way. The so-called lighter version hits just as hard as the original, and the only thing that genuinely changed in the formula is the calorie count. Sugar-free line extensions appeared in the early 2000s, built directly on top of the low-carb diet wave that was reshaping grocery store shelves at the time. Most versions swap cane sugar for artificial sweeteners like sucralose or acesulfame potassium, which trigger sweetness receptors on the tongue without causing the same blood sugar spike that regular sugar produces. These cans spread quickly into mainstream grocery stores and reached entire groups of shoppers who had avoided energy drinks entirely because of sugar concerns. Today, sugar-free versions outsell the original full-sugar versions in several major markets, and the white or silver packaging has become the universal visual shorthand for 0 calories on a crowded shelf. Clean label drinks. Natural in name, identical in molecule. Here is the thing about the craft paper-sleeved can that calls itself natural. The word natural on an energy drink label has no universal legal definition in most countries, which means a drink can market itself as natural while still containing chemically identical caffeine to any standard can sitting right next to it on the same shelf. The clean label category grew out of wellness culture in the 2000s, with brands like Runa using guayusa leaf and Highball using concentrated green tea extract as their primary caffeine sources. Both of those plants are harvested, dried, and brewed like tea before being concentrated down into the final drink, so the production process is genuinely different even if the caffeine molecule at the end is exactly the same. These cans found their earliest footing in yoga studios, health food stores, and specialty grocers before gradually moving into mainstream retail chains, where they now sit comfortably alongside kombucha and coconut water. Guarana. The Amazonian berry that looks like a human eye. The guarana seed contains roughly twice the caffeine concentration of a coffee bean by weight, and Amazonian communities figured this out long before energy drinks were even a recognized category. The plant is native to the Amazon basin, and many sources trace commercial guarana-based beverages in Brazil back to the early 1900s, well before the global energy drink market existed. Brazil's dominant soda brand built an entire national identity around the flavor, and that deep cultural history carried the taste internationally before dedicated energy-specific guarana drinks followed later. The seed itself grows inside a bright red shell with white pulp surrounding it, and the combination looks so strikingly like a human eye that traditional Amazonian stories treated the plant as something genuinely extraordinary and powerful. Today, guarana appears as a standard ingredient inside many mainstream energy drinks produced around the world, sometimes listed simply as natural caffeine from guarana without any further context on the label. Sports energy hybrids, when two categories fused into one. The original sports drinks had no caffeine at all. Energy in that early context meant calories, specifically the kind that fuel muscles during hard physical effort. The formula that eventually became Gatorade came directly out of a 1965 research project at the University of Florida, designed specifically for the football team. The caffeinated hybrid that blends electrolytes with stimulants came much later, arriving in the 2000s and fusing two completely separate product traditions into a single can. Sodium and potassium in these drinks help the body retain water more efficiently than plain water alone, which matters most when extended, heavy sweating is involved. Brands like Celsius and Ghost marketed aggressively around endurance sports like cycling, running, and gym training, pushing their products through sports retailers and convenience stores near fitness centers. Today, the line between a sports drink and an energy drink has blurred so completely that many consumers treat the two categories as entirely interchangeable. Gaming drinks, engineering calm into a stimulant. Gaming drinks added a specific ingredient designed to take the sharp edge off high caffeine doses. L-theanine, an amino acid found naturally inside tea leaves, affects the same brain pathways as caffeine but works in the opposite direction, promoting a state of calm, sustained focus rather than the jittery, restless feeling that high caffeine doses can sometimes produce. Brands like G Fuel built this entire subcategory in the 2000s almost exclusively by sponsoring esports streamers and content creators before the mainstream energy drink market paid any serious attention to gaming audiences. Limited edition flavors tied to specific game releases drove intense community engagement and kept audiences buying repeatedly. L-theanine is extracted from tea leaves, meaning these drinks contain two compounds from related plant sources working in genuinely opposite directions inside the same can at the same time. The category sold almost entirely through online stores at first before eventually landing in major physical retailers worldwide. Yerba Mate. 3 stimulants in a single leaf. Yerba Mate contains caffeine, theobromine, and theophylline simultaneously, and those 3 compounds affect the body through slightly different biological pathways. That triple combination is precisely why mate drinkers consistently describe the feeling as meaningfully different from a cup of coffee, even when the total caffeine dose is roughly comparable. The yerba mate plant has been consumed for centuries by indigenous Guarani communities across South America, and the dried leaf remains the national drink of Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay to this day. Before the canned version existed, the leaves were brewed in a hollow gourd and sipped slowly through a metal straw with a built-in filter, a ritual that carried social as much as nutritional significance. Brands like Guayaki moved the leaf out of the gourd and into a convenient can for health food markets in the 2000s. After drying and grinding, the harvested leaf looks like coarse green sawdust, vivid and almost artificially bright before further processing. Mushroom energy drinks. Adaptogens in a bright can. Most mushroom energy drinks contain very little caffeine at all. The energy claim rests almost entirely on adaptogens, a category of plant and fungal compounds that some sources describe as potentially helpful for the body in managing everyday stress, though research remains ongoing and results across studies vary considerably. Reishi and lion's mane mushrooms have been used in traditional East Asian medicine for many centuries, but their appearance inside a brightly labeled canned energy drink is almost entirely a product of 2010's wellness market trends. Brands like Four Sigmatic first popularized mushroom coffee powder before the format eventually migrated into the canned energy drink aisle. Lion's mane itself grows in dramatic, shaggy white clumps that look genuinely like the thick fur of a lion, hanging off the sides of trees in forest environments and harvested entirely by hand when conditions are right. Today, these cans sit in specialty grocery stores positioned alongside CBD beverages and functional wellness waters. Nootropic drinks. A few expensive milligrams in a small bottle. The small glass bottle at the supplement counter costs 3 to 5 times more than a standard energy can, And the reason lives entirely in the ingredient list. Nootropic drinks include compounds like alpha-GPC or citicoline, which cost significantly more per gram than caffeine, and a premium price tag often reflects a few extra milligrams of a very expensive molecule rather than a dramatically different overall formula. The nootropic concept spread through biohacker culture and Silicon Valley productivity communities during the 2010s, and some sources credit early brands like Bulletproof for bringing the vocabulary and the ideas into broader mainstream awareness. Alpha-GPC is a choline compound, and the body uses choline to help maintain the protective coating around nerve fibers, so the theory behind including it involves supporting the efficiency of nerve signaling over time. These drinks sold primarily through direct-to-consumer online channels and through premium gyms catering to performance-focused customers. The Energy Shot. Maximum caffeine, minimum liquid. The 2-ounce plastic bottle holds roughly the same caffeine as a full 8-ounce energy drink, and the tiny size is not a smaller dose. It is a format built to be consumed in a few quick seconds without the time commitment of finishing an entire large can. Many sources credit Manoj Bhargava with launching 5-Hour Energy in the United States in 2004 after observing similar concentrated small bottle tonics sold widely across parts of Asia. The format found its core audience not in the beverage aisle at all but at checkout counters, placed directly in the sight line of truck drivers, nurses, warehouse workers, and anyone pulling a long shift who would never stop to browse the energy drink section. With almost no water volume surrounding the caffeine, the concentrated liquid moves through the digestive system relatively quickly compared to a full-size drink. Today, the checkout counter shot bottle is a fully established category with dozens of imitators operating in the same compact format. Alcoholic energy drinks. 2 opposing processes in one can. Mixing caffeine and alcohol creates a specific and well-documented problem. Caffeine keeps a person feeling alert and awake even as alcohol accumulates in the bloodstream, which means the body's usual signal that it has had enough gets significantly masked. Multiple countries moved to restrict or ban premixed versions after research found associations between the combination and higher rates of risky behavior.